Hey y'all. Well, it's been a few days. Lots going on. Rain stopped. I just decided to sit down here by the old pine tree in the pasture. Like to burn it down last summer, but we managed to get it out. Old place is getting away quick. It don't take long. That no matter what, things keep moving. Old garden's looking good. It's not too weedy. It's not Nathan Alders approved today, but it's good enough. But we got some more tomato plants to put in. Now we've had some life changes. You know, you see those that go through different trials. I know a lot of y'all have been through the loss of a parent. We haven't went through it yet, but Mom's on her final lap as she nears the old dementia and all that business gets a hold of you, and it's just a matter of time. But you know, I've been thinking a lot about life and death and things of that nature, and of course we're grieving a little bit, and a lot, and sad, and trying to just navigate this space. Still with us, and there's still a chance she'll start eating a little bit and have a little more time, but not looking that way. But I've seen some other folks that are going through some particular timelines with their own life, and maybe they've got a certain amount of time left according to a doctor or professional. And I guess it's easy for me to talk about it since I don't have that defined timeline necessarily at this point in my life. But I guess we're all in a state of dying, aren't we? I think we'd be better off in a state of living, because that moment of death comes once, and we've got so many good living moments in between. It struck me as odd that, of course, we got these timelines and we put all that stuff on things, but I guarantee there's folks leaving the house right now, unfortunately, somewhere, have no clue that they won't return home. But they're living in the moment, they're enjoying life. So I think that's what we all ought to do, don't you? But anyway, appreciate your thoughts and concerns for my mother as we walk this path that so many of you walked, and getting a new appreciation for it now that we're walking it ourselves. But God is good and in control, and she's ready, and it'll be peaceful either way. Just be a lot of adjustment around here. It's funny how it's always not really tough on the person leaving, it's tough on all of us left behind, isn't it? I guess we ought not to be selfish, and know that that's the goal, to have a good life and go peacefully, and meet on the other side with Jesus in eternity. So I don't know if you could ask for much better. Things are just normal on the place. We hadn't been quite as important these last few days as it has in times past. We're keeping things rolling. Jordan's been a big help while I've been in Lufkin, and my sister's been helping, and just part of it. He's surprised me a couple of times. Of course, he's got the ability and the work ethic, but sometimes I don't really, you know how you always want to do stuff yourself, because time you explain it to somebody, they can't do it that way. Well, I'd come home this evening and he already had half the chores done, and I didn't even ask him, so I was proud of that. But it's good dude. But I guess y'all saw that Mother's Day brought, that was kind of a good little gift in timing. That last little old egg that was out there. Guess I had my mind on other things, and I got out of the way and just let it go on its own. It did just fine. Imagine that. Didn't even need me out there. Who'd have thunk it? Maybe I should have just left the rest of them alone. I think I'll intend to going forward. We still got 10 out there under 2 different hens, and I'm not messing with those like I was the other ones. We'll just let it be like it should, right? I got a pretty cool gift, I'll have to say. I come home last night, of course, tired as you get, and just kind of frazzled. On the porch, a delivery. Got a big old 48 egg incubator, and already got 18 eggs in it rolling. tired of buying chickens, right? We'll just raise our own. So a big special thanks to the one that sent me that. I know who it is, and I appreciate her. She'd be embarrassed if I pointed her out, but that made my day. It did. Something little like that. Dad and I was talking about this whole farm. Really hadn't thought through it and talked about it till here of late, but it's probably, well, I don't know if it's a good thing, but if Mother had been mobile and in, you know, all her capacities since I've moved back here, he wouldn't have got no rest now anyway, because she'd been over here just about every day out there in that garden weeding, and I'd had to kick her out. She loved that garden. Boy, I tell you what, he remembers she'd tell him she'd come home from school and grab a stick and hit the watermelon field with her dad and turning them rows on acres and acres of watermelon rows. So I've been kind of looking around with some different eyes today and thinking about how many times that old screen door is slammed, her coming off that back porch, maybe beating the rug out from all the sand that Pawpaw came in with. And, I don't think they know what's about to hit them. If there's a speck of dust on them gold streets, it won't be there long. Because she will get it done. But no, we love her, and she is a beautiful soul, truly is. But we're going to celebrate the good stuff. That's what she'd want. And we're, of course, you grieve and you're sad because you've lost them. But actually, all those good memories, we're going to celebrate the life stuff. Don't y'all think that's how it should be? Let's not focus on that one exit. Let's think about all the good stuff. I think that's it's easy to say, but I'm going to do it through all this. That way I can say it can be done, right? But not a whole lot to report. Didn't really have a whole lot on my mind. Felt like I was neglected by not coming on and answering all your messages of thoughts and concern. I appreciate it. It's just part of life. If we're lucky, that's how it's supposed to go. You know, none of us getting out of here alive, not at least in this body we ain't. But, old chickens are lazy tonight, belly full of produce and laying pellets. They're happy. I think Jordan I know he gathered the eggs. I didn't count them, like about 18 or 19 in there. But, let me check off real quick. We'll do a roll call and end it on probably, what's today, Tuesday? Well, happy Tuesday. How about that? Kind of lose track of time in this stuff, don't you? All right, let's see. I will say this, though. Those are my close family and friends that knew Mom or knows Mom. She's still with us, and she's still alert a little bit. And I tell you, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. She still says, "I love you." It's as clear as a bell. And she'll look at you and smile, and then she'll go to praying, or she'll say, "I love you, Jesus." And, I mean, you can't get no better than that, y'all. I'm telling you. Say what you want. I saw that little chicken hatch the other evening, and I kind of got to laughing. In the wake of been studying, I don't know if some of you saw some of my thoughts on Mother's Day, but I like to learn and look and admire and things. I've been watching all that stuff about these extra solar planets and kind of digging into that and just seeing how other folks think. That's all right. But the more I look at it, them rascals I could never get to that level of faith. They can't even define how small that silly atom was that blew up. And then I'm looking at that chicken come out of that shell. Wasn't touching it. It was in the shell. In 21 days, it figured out it had to break out of a little inner membrane. Then it figured it had to zip around and come out. And that came out of an atom? It decided just to blow up? Okay. And they're the smart ones. Whatever. Whatever. That's all I got to say about that. That's a measure of faith I can't get to there. All right. I mean, can't argue with an idiot, right? That's what I found. So, yeah, I called him an idiot. But anyway, I better get off that. Be positive, right? Let me do a roll call real quick. All right, there's Caroline. It is a glorious day down here. Yeah, that's part of it. Thank you for that. There's Douglasville, Georgia, checking in. And oh, we do have those two little babies. That second one that came out on Mother's Day, y'all. Now, it has to be one of those white broilers. We'll know in time as it gets feathered. It's still got its down on it. But it come out of the shell. It was 2 to 3 times as big as the one that came out a few days before. And I put them in a little box in there with a heating lamp. And I'd have loved to left them with that mom out there. There's just too many threats right now. And we started with 18, got down to 2, so I wasn't risking it. But anyway, I put them in that little box in there. And the one that was a little older, of course, they like to peck on stuff they don't know about. And that new one was still kind of wet and having to dry out and kind of get its feet underneath it. So a little worried about that other one being a little too curious and pecking on it. So we put a piece of cardboard barrier, always about 9-10 inches high, well too high for that little old baby to jump over. And I'll be goodness if that thing didn't go over there and hear that other one chirping, and he jumped and he flapped and he crawled until he got over that partition to see what that was to the other side, and monitor them a little bit, and they wasn't bothering each other, so I just took it out of there. And they're like 2 peas in a pod in there. You know, those little baby chicks live off the yolk out of the egg right at birth, so they're able to be shipped around and things. They don't eat or drink for about 3 days. Not this booger. He saw that little brown one eating. The next morning, he's already eating. He said, well, if you're eating, I'm going to eat. So, but they're doing fine. They should be all right. He's white with a little black marking right on his back. So I don't know who the daddy is. We did lose Cogburn. Didn't update y'all on that. Sunday morning. We started the day with a death and ended it with a hatch. So I guess that's all right. I don't know what happened. Nothing that we can figure out. But he was getting kind of sickly and stumbling. And I had him in the house there for about a week. And he just stood in the corner. I had him full feed and water, and he was eating fine and doing bodily functions fine. And he'd just stand there and look at the wall like he'd had a stroke or something. And he finally decided to let go. So we didn't throw that little booger in the woods. He got a grave out there by my old Never Quit stump, if y'all remember that video. But just a lot of goings on in the last few days, I guess. But kind of hoping one of them little chickens is his. I don't know. Timing's about right, because he was still up and about at that time. Time will tell. It'll be all right just the same. We'll have to keep moving, right? I'd rather remember him crowing than remember him laying there on the floor, right? That's how it ought to be. I keep trying to roll call and get distracted. Here I didn't think I was going to be able to talk about nothing. Let's see. There's Brenda from Arkansas checking in. Miss Margaret. That's right. That sure is right. There's Allison Shoemaker and Jennifer Fuller. How are you? From the Black Hills Wild Horse Sanctuary. Oh, man. That sounds like a cool place to visit. I'll have to check that out. There's Miss Chris. She knows all too well those pains in that path. So appreciate you, ma'am. And let's see. Thank you, Margaret, for that. Thank you, Jennifer. There's Barbara from Chibolo. Thank you. There's Miss Molly, dear friend. Mother knew Molly well. Molly kept that whole bunch straight when they get out of hand. There's Miss Terry. Fresh baby chicks, yes, ma'am. There's my cousin Donna, right down the road. How are you, ma'am? Miss Janet and Patty. Maria. I'm trying to get through everybody here, y'all. There's my buddy Jimmy down Conroe Way. And John Pop Fields. There's got to be a story behind that somewhere. Checking in from Lenora. Helen says, memories are windows to the past and very precious. That's right. That's right. Kathy is checking in, and Miss Charlotte, Lelia, I'm sorry, hope I got it right. There's Miss Dawn, and hey Terry, how are you? Up North Richland Hills way. There's Ken and Abilene. My feather farmer friend, well, we're farming and feathering, I guess, Mr. Manuel. Yeah, these birds are chirping all the time out here. Hey, Mike from California. Yeah. Anyway, all is well. I did get, not tickled, but kind of made me realize the depth of my dad's faith. And of course, the staff where we helping Mom out is unbelievably good. Just couldn't be happier. And good Christian overtones and faith, and really confident in this journey. But the little old chaplain, about half Dad's age, and Dad is so respectful and tolerant, and I appreciate there wasn't no need not to be, but just kind of introducing themselves and talking, trying to get to know a little bit more about us, and talking through some things, and was encouraging, Dad, that things are going to change a little bit, and we know that, and not to lose his faith. And I didn't outwardly chuckle, but I let it roll a little minute, and Dad's humble, and I guess I need to learn a little bit of that sometimes. But in love, I told her, I said, well, I promise you one thing won't happen, and that's Dad losing his faith. So we can focus on some other stuff, because we don't have to worry about that. So there's one thing my dad is, it's a man of Christ and of God and of his family. And I was telling the other day, what a witness he's put down with that. He wouldn't want the accolades, so no sense in even worrying about that. But sure is neat to sit back and look at what true love really is, and what being Christ-like and a firm foundation in Christ looks like as time marches on. Couldn't be more blessed. Just couldn't. There's no way. Y'all have a good evening, and hey, Miss Angie, how are you? Yeah, that's right, Donna. Mima was pretty hard on judging the men that married her girls, but I guarantee you, when she's looking down, there's more than one of them. I can tell you that. But she's flabbergasted at my dad, and so thankful, I guarantee you. And he wouldn't have it any other way. Love that man. But let me get off here. I'm rambling. And y'all have a good evening, and be the light. Let's celebrate the life moments, right? No sense in getting down and worry. Death will come when it comes, right? Let's bend over and pick a weed or two today while you can. Y'all have a good evening. Be the light.